I'm Guillermo Freixas. I'm happy to be here with Commissioner Damian Pardo. It's the first time you and I are face to face.
Yes, a pleasure.
This all came from a video that I had done on Fuller Street in regards to what the plans were for Fuller Street and Kirk Monroe Park. When I was pitched the Ziggurat project, because I am, a licensed real estate agent, I saw some renderings, okay? And I'm sure a lot of people saw those renderings. And I had just noticed, they have Fuller Street being redesigned to look very similar to this development. Same thing with the park. And I didn't think anything of it. And then as I started getting information, and you and I have had a conversation about what is misinformation and what is missing information. Right. And clearly there's something going on there. I think it's more missing information than people have the wrong information. What can you tell me as the people who are looking at this project and saying, they're going to redevelop Fuller Street and Kirk Monroe as the developer sees?
Yeah, that's absolutely not the case. We did some community meetings early on, and we had explained in this process we would come back with a starting point, kind of like a conversation starter. And that's what that original design was meant to be, just a starting off point in the conversation. So that was certainly laid out, but we're far away in the process. So for example, at the last commission meeting, we just approved the development agreement, which is the overarching structure of the entire thing.
Of the project itself, the 19 exactly, units and the retail on the bottom.
Of the project itself. Then we went to this commission meeting where we're allocating dollars at this commission meeting. And then in July, we would be improving any kind of final design. So from here to July, we're going to have community meetings and we're going to involve the community in a way that they will be able to really participate and make decisions as to what will impact them. We'll start with the park and then it'll be moved over to Fuller Street as far as...
Right. So hypothetically speaking, or maybe you walk me back a little bit. Who approaches who in regards to fixing Fuller and Kirk Monroe? Does the developer go to you guys?
Well, thank you for that question. It was a real challenge, and it was very difficult first to close off Fuller Street. It took a lot of effort and explaining and influence just to be able to make that piece happen. Once that piece happened, our office was instrumental in working with the development team and asking for public benefits, which is what we do all the time. We want maximum public benefits with anything that's happening. So we asked them to please consider giving $2 million to this project and, following our lead.
So you approach a developer asking them for a contribution.
Correct.
Now, they were likely the person to go to because they were making that development. Like, who else could you have gone to?
Correct. Really, they are the most likely. They have, first of all, there are people who understand the coconut grove, and there are people who want to see it flourish. They want to see good things happen here. So if we tell them, hey, can we scrape a little bit more for the park project, and can we actually do Fuller Street so that, handicapped folks can use it and it's in compliance with ADA and people can walk on it and it's functional in a way that's pleasing to the residents of the Grove. And they were absolutely, they were very much in favor, and they've been extremely open to doing anything that the residents want to see happen here.
Yeah, I got you. All right, so I've got some questions here that I just want to make sure that I hit on everything. So basically, in terms of the project, who is legally and practically responsible for the design? Because I think that's what most people want to know.
Right. So the city is in control of this project. It needs to come to commission. So the commission in the end votes on this project.
Okay. So the developer will lead the drawings, right?
I should explain this a little bit. So for us, it was important to give the developer the construction access to allow them to go ahead and build because it'll happen faster. We're also transferring the risk from the city, meaning increases in pricing, et cetera. We're transferring it from the city to that developer. So that was important for us. And that whole concept just worked better for us to allow that.
Can you explain what that means, like transferring over the risk?
Yeah, for example, there are tariffs, right? Construction costs go up. We're not the ones incurring those cost increases. They are the ones. Right. They are in charge of that project. So they have the crews and the ability and the efficiency to do these projects in a streamlined, cost-efficient, smart way. That if we as the city did it, may take much, much longer. We may have issues with funding at some point. It may get more complicated. We didn't want any of that. So we told them, would you partner? This is a classic PPP, private-public partnership. I mean, classic. And that's why we love it. We think it's super smart and we're super excited and we want the residents to feel the same way.
And From what I've heard, most of the businesses have been on board, Fuller Street and the old tenants in the old building.
Absolutely, they have been. But again, I think they were also better informed because they've been a part of this process, kind of all along the way. So yes, they are very much in support.
Okay, I think a lot of people were turned off, especially those who saw the early renderings when they're like, oh, okay, because it did look, and I know it's been in a lot of the news outlets when they quote it as an amenity for the project, it did look like that.
Yeah.
Like just
no, it absolutely did. I mean, I'm the first to say that. And I don't want to minimize those concerns. I mean, I would feel them too if I didn't know, if I didn't understand this whole big process. I would be very alarmed. I would be concerned that what is happening here? Is this what it's going to look like? Because that's not what I enjoy. This has become like a hangout place. It's an informal meeting place in the Grove, and it has a feel to it.
Don't even get me started. My whole thing, and I was talking to a couple of the people before I sat down with you, because I just wanted to get a sense of where you come from, what your vibe is, whatever. I don't know much about all the laws, and I don't know much about policies and things like that. I speak from the soul. I speak for the people who were born and raised here, who don't want to see our beautiful little Coconut Grove change to something unrecognizable if it was up to me. And by the way, my best friend is in a wheelchair. I understand the idea of being ADA compliant, but I would never touch this because this tells a story. I like for it to move on and get enhanced without killing the history or the story of the place.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not sure if you know, but I was raised in the Grove.
No, I didn't.
So I was walking these streets in the 70s and the 80s, everything from when moorings was open, the moorings you could go down to the bay, this and that shop, like a lot of the old places here. So I'm the first one that doesn't want to see things change. I want to retain the character of this neighborhood and the identity. And actually in our office, there's probably 4 people that have been raised in Coconut Grove. So it's very important to us.
Right.
That's the last thing we want to see. But we also have to include the residents. And not all of them have the same experience. And that's why the forums and the community meetings are so important.
In terms of the park, it's never going to be closed. It's going to be open to the public at all times. I heard that the Last Care was planning on moving in there. Now they're not. You're relocating them.
Actually, thank you for bringing that up because we are relocating them to the other side, more on the Douglas Grand side.
Okay.
And that's what we've been trying to do that with every kind of Grove, kind of iconic identity, kind of Grove entity. We want to give them a home. We want to find them a good home so that for all of us, we know they're still there. We know we can still get, our shake or our,
I mean, the UPS stores moved. I think their location's probably better, to be honest. I know that the laundry's going back in that space, once they build the building. So, and I know that the people
the laundry's going to be moving to
back
Douglas,
to Ziggurat.
Douglas and
Once they move to the temporary space, they'll move back in, right?
They're going to stay on the Douglas and Grand space.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The project and Fuller and Kirk is out in the open now. You're going to get a better turnout for the next one. So
fantastic.
What are your expectations? How will you handle that? And then how will we know, I mean, you said Instagram or whatever.
We plan to do a meeting right here on Fuller Street. So what better place, right?
There you go.
So we'll do one right here on Fuller Street, and then we'll probably have a Zoom option as well.
And so how does this work? So like you'll have a microphone, someone will talk, and someone will say, well, I have this input, I have this, and then someone takes notes on what people are suggesting?
Correct. Basically, it's a Q&A and an information exchange. Say, well, what do we think? Like, what is really important? For example, grading the street is important so that people can transit and it's not dangerous. You don't fall and get hurt or anything like that. That would be important. What else is important? Trees, canopy might be important. What else? Lighting might be important. What else beyond that? We don't know. We want to hear from people.
Right.
So as people give feedback, and you quickly get a sense, we might also do some kind of surveying by text throughout the whole group, which we've done before on other issues.
Yeah.
So we're thinking of that as well. But we definitely want to cast that net as wide as possible.